Gilbert Burns is unsure what's next for him in his career following his loss to Sean Brady last night. In an interview with ESPN, Gilbert said, "I'm a little bit disappointed. I know I have the grit, I know I can fight hard, but I didn't let it go. I just feel like I felt great this whole freaking week. I felt good in training camp. This morning was great, but when I got to the cage, it didn't flow. It just didn't flow. Nothing was good. I didn't let it go. Props to Sean. Sean is a tough one. I hit him with some good shots. I tried to finish. I think I forced the finish too much. I don't know, that's a good question. I didn't think about that, so I've got to rethink. I've got to go back, talk to my coaches, see what's next. At the same time, give a little time to my family. They give up so much for when I'm in camp for a fight. I'm gonna go back, spend time with the family, go back to train. I don't have any injuries, thank God. I lost, but at least the body is feeling good." At UFC Vegas 97 last night, Sean Brady defeated Gilbert Burns via unanimous decision. Belal Muhammad reacted on X. He wrote, "Man, Brady is going to be tough to beat." He followed up with, "I guess Philly doesn't suck, I'm sorry." And then he said Brady finishes Usman. At the post-fight press conference, Sean reacts to Belal's praise. Sean also calls out Ian Garry. He says that Ian thinks he's God's gift to earth, and Sean doesn't see it that way.
You called out Ian Garry. What about that matchup intrigues you?
I mean, I think Ian just thinks that he's God's gift to earth, and he's not, you know, and I feel like everyone in the sport feels the same way. I mean, I'll fight him. I'll fight Colby. I think Colby is the easiest matchup in the division. I'll piece him up on the feet. I'll ragdoll him. But yeah, I would like to fight Ian. He's an up-and-comer. I'm a little bit older than him, but I want to be here for a long time. He's undefeated. He's got some hype. I'm going to be, before he said, I won't fight guys who are ranked behind me, I'm going to be ranked ahead of him on Tuesday with that number 6 spot. So yeah, maybe I'll let him fight me. We'll see how it works out, though.
The question is, do you think both those guys accept to fight you?
I mean, the UFC, you can't really turn down too many opportunities, but I'm going to go home, assess my bumps and bruises, and then we'll see where we're at. But Colby or Ian Garry sounds like a fun one. Maybe end of December, early January. Like I said, before February 13th, I just want to fight one more time.
All tweeted that, you know, Brady's going to be difficult to beat, right? And I wonder when you think back, you saw his championship fight, you know where you are now. Like, what do you think would be different if you see him again? Like, do you have substantive changes that you could make in that fight?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and watch that fight, it was a very competitive fight until it wasn't. I got caught with a punch that I didn't get dropped. I wasn't knocked out. I should have thrown back, and in that moment, I quit on myself, and that would never happen again. And that's the difference between Sean Brady of 2022 in October and Sean Brady of today. I will never quit on myself ever again. You have to kill me, or else I'm going to be there for the whole night. That night wasn't my night. I mentally beat myself, and Belal got the win. But I have nothing against Belal. I think he's a great champion. I think he did an amazing job against Leon, and I hope he stays where he's at so that I can work my way up and we can fight again. But nothing but respect for Belal.
At the Bellator Champion Series event last night, Usman Nurmagomedov defeated Alexander Shabli via unanimous decision. Khabib was in his corner and nearly choked out Umar Nurmagomedov while Usman attempted a submission.
Look at those heavy Nurmagomedov hips, and that was the problem. As soon as his head comes up, right into guillotine position. Trying to choke Umar Nurmagomedov, the victim.
After the fight, Khabib says that Usman is eventually going to be the best lightweight in the world.
You know, sometimes like when you grow, when you're 26 and you fight with somebody who is 32, they both on prime, but 32 is much better than 26. And if you beat him, you jump on that different level. And I think Usman is right now one of the best lightweight in the world. You know, I was before, now is our brother Islam, and Usman is next. And you know, this is dynasty. I think many years people gonna talk and they don't even understand why. Because we work so hard and we believe to Allah and we believe ourselves.
Merab Dvalishvili went off on Umar Nurmagomedov. Merab says that Umar has been disrespectful and says the only reason he's a contender for the title is because he's Khabib's cousin. Speaking to MMAfighting.com, Merab said, "Let's talk about it this way. Umar is a good fighter. We all know this, but he fights nobody from the top 15. And now, of course, the UFC gives him a gift with number 2 Corey Sandhagen. If he wins, he's right there. Now he wins, so he's right there. He's been disrespectful. He's calling out Sean O'Malley. He's calling out me. Like, bro, give us respect and let us fight and chill out a little bit. What the f? You don't fight anybody, and now you just got here because your last name is Nurmagomedov, because you're Khabib's cousin. Good for him, but he has to grow up. He has to be more of a man. He has to respect fighters here. We've been here a long time, and he's acting a little bit disrespectful. He's talking too much. I'm talking about the truth. Yes, he's a good fighter, but he got pushed because he's Khabib's cousin, and he has to be humble. He has to be a little bit relaxed. He shows us disrespect, and same thing. He's going to get it at the right time when the time comes. Now let us fight and wait your turn. He should just fight Deiveson Figueiredo. He should fight somebody, maybe Petr Yan. He just beat one guy from the top 15. Come on, chill out a little bit. That's all I have for him. I don't want to talk about him. That's it. Let them fight each other. Figueiredo versus Umar. That would be a good fight. Actually, Figueiredo deserves it more. He's a former champion. He's a big name. He's been fighting. He already beat one former champion and 2 guys from the top 15. Actually, Chito Vera doesn't count because Chito Vera is not a top 15 fighter. He sucks, but Figueiredo deserves it more. He has my respect. He's a man and he's been respectful, and he's cool, and he didn't get here because he's somebody's cousin. He got here by himself. He's a good fighter. He's been there. He was a champion. At least he's humble and he's a real fighter. Umar talking about a title shot. Some bullshit there. Before he fought Sandhagen, he defeated somebody in their debut, and then now he wants to fight for the belt? You are out of your mind. Michael Bisping reacts to the footage of Israel Adesanya recently getting into an altercation. Bisping reveals a story of when a guy tried to start with him at the gym while he was preparing to fight George St. Pierre. Bisping actually got sued for grabbing the guy by the throat and lost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I had the exact thing happen to me. I was in the gym years ago when I was champ. I was training for George St. Pierre, and I was in the gym and I was lifting weights, and I was doing weights and kettlebell swings. I was doing supersets. And when I went back to the bar, and obviously I don't see out of this eye, so I couldn't see that the weight wasn't on the bar. Some guy had taken the weight off, right? So when I lifted it up, the bar was upended, off balance. The other weight fell off and hit the floor. And I said to this kid, there was a group of kids, I said, "Hey, did you take the weight off that?" He's like, "Yeah, I did." So I tried giving him some advice, but I was annoyed. I was like, "Dude, what the I said, "You don't do that." And he goes, "No, F you." I'm like, "F me." And he got right up in my face, and it escalated. And he got right in my face, and like, I'll never forget it. He tilted his head to one side. He's like, "I know where you live," right? And at that point, I grabbed him by the throat. And then as soon as I touched him, he's like, oh, he's trying to choke me out. And he turned into a little. Anyway, I left the gym. I went back to apologize to the manager. I said, "I've been coming here for years. You know, there's never any incidents or whatever." She said, "Yeah, no, it's fine." She said, "But he's called the police. The police investigated it, took no further action, said, no, it was provoked. All the witnesses said he got in your face and stuff like that." And then he sued me. No. And he was successful. I won't go into it any further. I've probably said too much already, but it cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'll say that. And then just to make it even more annoying, when I was picking the kids up from school one day, some guy came over, he said, "You're Bisping, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "That guy that did that, he works with my brother." And they actually all said, "Come on, let's go and mess with Bisping." They did it on purpose.
Aljamain Sterling reveals a recent conversation he had with Merab regarding the upcoming fight against Sean O'Malley.
For him to win this would be such a huge thing for his country, and then even for us back home in Long Island. To have 4 world champions come out of our gym, our small gym,
huge
in Long Island, is such a mind f. Like I told him yesterday, I said, "Brother, look at us, man. We're living the dream,
right.
And now you got an opportunity of a lifetime to change your life forever."
For sure.
I'm like, just think about how you started your career, up and down on the regional, won a few on the regional. After retiring, he retired, came back, rattles off I think 5 wins on the Dana White looking for a fight.
Yeah, knocked
beats
out my boy
Rafion Stotts in like 16 seconds, knocks out this stud, goes to the UFC, loses his first 2 fights, and now look at him.
Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo give their picks for the one UFC fighter who picked up MMA the fastest.
Henry, I could go first. Who is the fastest? I don't know, to be honest with you, because we don't see these fighters. We don't see them train on a daily basis, so we don't know how fast they're picking it up. But for someone to be as good as they are, to be as sharp as they are, I would have to say it's my man, the IT guy, Corey Sandman Sandhagen, because after being a college graduate at 20-something, and you decide, you know what, I want to go get punched in the face, and you start doing that, and you get as good as he is, as sharp as he is, I'm going to go with him. For his level, I'm going to go with Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean,
it took me 5 years to become world champ, Kush. I don't know if you knew that. So I'm gonna have to say Triple C.
Wow.
How about that? No, but other than the Triple C, I'd probably say Volkanovski, man. From a guy that started rugby, started a little later in mixed martial arts, and then became champion. The only problem that I got with Corey is Corey's fought for the belt, but he never became champion. And I think that's one thing that Volkanovski has done well. And I do believe that the sport of rugby has taught that dude quite a bit. And then the other one, it could be an Ilia Topuria, you know. But
he grew up. Didn't he grow up with a background in martial arts stuff?
Yeah, no,
he grew up wrestling.
Yeah, he grew up
all that stuff.
Yeah, so true. So I'm gonna have to go back and just say, Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Jorge Masvidal is interested in fighting Leon Edwards upon his potential UFC return. In a recent interview with ESPN, Jorge said, "Give me f***ing Leon Edwards, bro. What would you call him? A veteran? An ex-champion? Whatever you call that motherfucker. Give me that. We've got a built-in history. The UFC got the whole promo. Let's do the fight at the end of the year, next year. That's it. Let's get it done. And then after I knock his out, guess what? They've got to give me the title shot. He's 0-1 against me. Let's go." Dana White gave his reaction to Demetrious Johnson retiring from MMA. In an interview with John Morgan, Dana said, "Yeah, I didn't know that. Listen, if you go back to when he was here, I was defending him with the fans. Who's defended Demetrious Johnson more than me? Good for him. Incredible career he had. I've never had a problem with Demetrious Johnson." On whether or not DJ will be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, Dana said absolutely. Now, Dana is getting called out left and right over this interview. Fans don't seem to remember it the way Dana does. Interviews are resurfacing of the bad blood between the two, with Dana publicly talking down on DJ.
I'm not thrilled with Demetrious Johnson. You're the pound-for-pound best in the world. TJ Dillashaw challenges you, one of the best in the world, former world champion, and you flat out deny the fight.
Listen, you can't be in a position where you're like, I want $2 million, f*** you, I don't care what you make. I don't care how much this thing sells, I just want $2 million because I want $2 million. The media claims he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
Right.
I think Conor McGregor is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
I said that. The next day I got a phone call from Dana White.
Oh, really?
Dana White never calls me when I was in UFC. He called me, he goes, "You dumb, you just ruined this whole thing we're trying to set up for you, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, well, I just found out online from a random dude on Twitch, and I gave him an honest opinion. And then he goes, "Sean Shelby didn't call you?" I was like, "No, he didn't call me." And he goes, "All right, bye." Hangs up.
This user says Dana White wants to rewrite history. Come on now. Some fans might be new to this, but some remember. Who's defended Johnson more than me? Demetrious Johnson recounts time Dana White called him a dumbass, and UFC threatened to close flyweight division. This user says, "Bro f***ing hated Mighty Mouse. You can't lie to me, buddy. I'm not a f***ing kid, I remember. You traded him for Ben Askren. Pretty sure there's a video of Dana saying directly to the camera that Conor was better than DJ. Like, does Dana just think we forget or, and this man lies so shamelessly, we don't know how much he shitted on DJ not becoming a draw." And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from WorkLife316. It says, "DJ is the true GOAT of MMA, not John Jones. UFC doesn't mention DJ, what a disgrace." The second one's from Bobby Duncan. It says, "Ian Garry's wife is the female version of Joshua Fabia." And the final one's from Jorge. It says, "What a way for Ian Garry to return to the news, making a complete out of himself like always." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.